His head sets the scene. This boy can dream.
So I'm delighted to have our guest here today. I'd just like you to introduce yourself and where you're from.
Cool, I'm Cutchy. I'm a singer-songwriter for Coatbrig. Woo!
So that's brilliant, Cutchy. You've had a lot of recent developments with your music and have been signed with 23 Universe. How positively has this affected your motivations for continuing to record your music?
Oh, massively, man. During the whole lockdown, a lot of people were saying that it was helping them write. They were getting more time to themselves and it was helping them write. But the way I write for life experiences. And there wasn't any life experiences. You were in the house all the time, going from the house to the garden to Asda and back to the house. So there wasn't a lot of life experiences for me, so it really affected me. I had what the old writer's block for a long while. But then when I got in the studio with Andy and started speaking to Dave for 23 and whatnot, gave me a good bit of motivation, a good kick up the arse to get back into writing. For me, it's more the melody, getting an actual tune down on the guitar. Once you get that and you get the first line of a song, you just go with it. But I definitely needed to meet some people, some new faces within this kind of music world, and that's what helped me just go on. So it's going really well so far, man. Long may it continue, because there's nothing worse when you're a musician that can't write a song.
And it's like, see, when a musician, I think, see having positive reinforcement for anybody, it means so much, you know what I mean?
Definitely, man. It definitely helps me anyway. You need positive influences in your life, like your personal life. You also need it in your working life or your musical life and all.
And that comes into it as well. Once you do kind of go in the adventure of making music, you come into contact with all sorts of different people, different creatives, and a lot of these people will push you on, you know.
Aye, 100%. There was a lot of people that have pushed me on as well. Like even my family and stuff like that. There's been times, as I'm sure every musician's the same, where you just think to yourself, oh, I'm done, man, I can't go any further than this, and you get into a bit of a slump. But my family and my missus and that are like, no, just keep going, and I've got to hold my hands up and thank them for that, because there's a lot of times that I would have just jacked it. But aye, still here, still kicking, still writing.
And we're all glad to hear that.
Thank you, brother.
So you're releasing your single Different Kind of Christmas on the 18th of December.
Right.
I listened to it and honestly I think people are probably going to love this.
Thank you, mate.
How good does it feel to be putting this out, particularly with the year a lot of us have had?
Oh man, it's amazing. Last year, obviously it was a completely different time of life last Christmas. I wrote a wee song and I done a wee acoustic version, I put it up on Facebook. And it was a wee jokey thing. One of the lines is it was Happy Birthday Jesus and all that. I done it as a pure giggle. So that was like my first taste of Christmas song kind of thing. Then this year, obviously lockdown happened, as we all know, and everything that goes with it. But when I signed with 23 and signed with Main Street Records, first thing he says is, why don't you maybe think about a Christmas song? And I thought, well, I've not even got anything written down. He says, I've got some for last year, but it doesn't relate to this year. Like, it's totally different. It's all about spending time with your family and all that. You can't do that this year, really. So the song was, that's no word to a lie, the song was literally written, recorded, mixed and mastered within 3 weeks. And honestly, listening to it, it's unbelievable. I think it's absolutely class, if I do say so myself. Andy has worked wonders with it. With Rab and the drums, he did his bit and worked wonders with it. Brian's been involved, and it's just amazing, man. I can't wait to get it out there.
No, it's like, see, with Rab and Andy and Brian and all that, they're people that know what they're doing as well. So you could instantly hear that with the single. I thought, people are just going to love this. So I'm looking forward to it coming out.
So am I. Can't wait.
So I know you've gathered a lot of good momentum in your music. And I think particularly with the restrictions we're in, it's been great to see you building that.
Aye.
Has it been a challenge for you promoting yourself under these conditions, and has it been helpful for you in any way creatively?
I must admit, even though in personal life lockdown's been terrible, in the musical life it's been brilliant, because you're connected with a lot more people, and done a couple of videos that have went viral and stuff like that, and went live, and within I was going live almost every week, if not at least every second week, and building momentum, getting a new fan base, people coming in, and not only that, talking to the fans who've been there for a while, getting to know them a wee bit more, and you actually get to know each other on a personal level, even though you've never met these people or spoke to them in real life. You get to know people on a personal level. They've seen me holding my wains up to the camera and whatnot, and got involved with that sort of stuff as well. So it's been good for me, man. It has. But the only thing was it was always covers, and I'm no want to be a cover artist. I want to do my own stuff. So once this all came about, it's just rocketed, man, and I hope it keeps going, man. I really do.
See that in terms of doing the live feeds and the live gigs online, has it been quite different experience for gigging in person?
Oh, it's much different, man. It's much different. So I was saying to you there, there's nothing beats standing in front of a crowd. See, just standing on stage in front of a crowd, for me, that's something I've dreamt of all my life. See, actually having that happen now and that feeling, it's hard to beat that feeling. And as an artist as well, I feed off the energy in the room. So see, if you're just in the room yourself with a camera in front of you, it's quite hard to build up that energy. That's why I always ask people to give their part and all that, so we can get a bit of a laugh with it. And it's a totally different experience, but I enjoyed it all the same. It's totally different, but still good, still a good vibe. But obviously you want to be out there gigging in front of people, man. There's no better feeling.
Definitely. So you've gathered a predominantly loyal following over a period of time.
Aye.
Personally, I think how you come across as a person has really connected with people. Has it been important for you to keep that open personality with your fans?
100%, man. I don't think there's any point in being pretentious or kidding on. I'm something I'm not. Know what I mean? I'm just a middle-aged man, a working dad who loves his family and would do anything for his family, but also loves music and wants to follow his dreams. What has happened in my musical life in the last 2 years is beyond anything that I could have ever dreamt of. The fact that it's now going to start building again, hopefully next year if we can get back out gigging, that's beyond belief for me. But I want to keep that with the fans, that I'm not a pretentious guy. I'm who I am. I'm who you see is who you get with me, and that's the way I want to keep it. I was a wee bit worried about that, to be honest with you, when I started coming back in and making proper music. It's just not me with my guitar anymore.
I feel as if you might come out to touch people.
As if people would be thinking, oh man, there he's got all professional on us, but that's what I want to do. Anybody who knows me and who's seen me on camera, I've always said that that's what I want to do, so watch me build it, because it's going to happen.
But see, that's the thing as well, there has to be a point where you have to make amends to what you're doing. It has to be altered in some way or form, you know, and this is just like this next step for you.
It is the next step, and it's a big step, but I'm right up for it, man. It's a lot of people, when I've said to them about my dreams and aspirations, a lot of people would laugh at you and go, oh, you're never going to get there, man. But what's the point in having dreams and aspirations if you don't think you can reach them? Mm-hmm. So you've got to have that belief in yourself, and without trying to sound arrogant and all that, I think I can do it, and I'm going to try and do it, and I'm going to keep going until it happens.
And see, the thing is as well, like, when you're talking about having an open personality,
Aye.
Being that honest with people are going to grasp onto that really strongly, and they're the people that matter, you know, and they're the people that are going to help accelerate you, you know.
Well, you're right, and the worst thing to do, I've been in sales all my life, in my personal life, my personal working life, and what I've always found the best thing to do is don't bullshit anybody, man. Be yourself. If you can do something, do it. If you can't do something, don't do it. So that's what I try to bring across in my music as well. Be myself. If people like me, brilliant, class, come and enjoy the ride. If they don't, fuck off.
So your lyrics are very transparent with people, and I think that you've had a lot of good influences with your songwriting and the style of music you create.
Right.
Has there been any particular artists that have made a big impact on you?
Aye, lot. I would say Johnny Cash is the biggest one for me, because he writes about life experiences, and that's my style of writing. I know I've tried to change that as well, and I thought, you know, that's maybe where the old writer's block came from, because I was trying to change my style of writing, and I just got to a stage where I was like, do you know what? What's the point, man? It's worked all right for me so far. I mean, I wrote a song. My biggest song is a song about Buckfast. You know what I mean? So that's writing for a life experience. It's something that I love, and I want to keep that kind of vibe going. Stuff that means something to me. Buckfast means something to me. Family means something to me. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. So pals, writing about things like that. That's what works for me. But Johnny Cash, obviously, he's my biggest influence. More like newer people is like Jerry Cinnamon. I think he's just a wee bit older than me, but doing what he's done in such a short space of time, and being my age as well, when it all just kicked off for him. So he's a big influence. But I love like Paolo Nutini. I love everything, man. Favourite band are Kings of Leon, but I love Elton John, stuff like that. So It's vast, my musical background. I love everything, to be honest with you. But Johnny Cash is the man, hence the reason I stole his name.
And I think particularly like where your influences, it is interesting how, for example, people from Scotland can have like their influences of Johnny Cash, but then they're writing about their life experiences growing up in like Coatbridge, for example, you know what I mean? And it can have some interesting ideas and concepts, the songs that can come for that, you know what I mean?
It's along the same lines, like style of writing. You're just writing about a different experience. So that's what I try and do, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Obviously there's going to be some stuff in there that, in the new album for instance, that might not be along the lines, but it's still stuff that I've wrote that has some sort of meaning to me. I know that might seem quite vague now, but once the album's out you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's the style I want to keep going, definitely.
So with the songs that you've written, do you feel as if they have to be grounded in a sense of reality?
Aye. I think a lot of time the stuff that I do write is total reality. There's other stuff I write out there that, although they are along realistic lines, it might not come across as realistic the way I've written them. Like for instance, one of my songs, Up, the first line is standing on a rooftop. Never stood on a rooftop in my life, but that's about being up high and coming back down to earth, and then trying to get back up, climb up the ladder of my life is another line in it. So although they are based on reality, some of the lyrics might kind of take you away from that full reality, if you like, and try and take you in another wee kind of world.
And I think that's like a common theme with a lot of musicians, that they have a flippant mind, you know what I mean? And it's like their mind goes from one thing to another, and then they're trying to create a story at it, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but in a way it does. And that's what makes it interesting.
Definitely, aye.
So what's next for you then, Cutchy? Do you have any immediate plans on what you would like to take on next year with your music?
Aye, there's mega plans in place. Obviously the it's Christmas single, which is on pre-order right now, but I know we're putting this out next week, so it's out now. So we'll see how that does. I've got a feeling I hope anyway that that's going to do well. It looks as if it is the now. I'm dead optimistic about it. Time will tell, but next year there's a new album coming. Obviously I wanted to do something this year, but COVID and whatnot just didn't allow it. So get the Christmas song done. Next year what I want to do is put out 4 singles. So hopefully there will be a single January, February, March, April, and then the album in May. During July is obviously kind of festival periods, and a bit of August as well. So obviously get the album out and then see what happens after that. Hopefully by then we're actually allowed to gig as well. You know what I mean? You can actually get back out there.
So you own that with the band, is that going to be a part of your live gigs as well?
Aye, 100% now. I think there'll maybe be an aspect of where it is just me on stage, acoustic guitar, maybe the wee stomp box, but the majority of it now is going to be upscale, full band, all singing, all dancing. That's the way I want to go forward now.
How's the process of that been, learning for a band and working with them?
Superb, man. Honestly, my first single next year, which is going to be out in January, is called Only by the Night. We've been sitting on that for September, and I wrote it and came in here and jammed it with the band, literally standing where you're sitting now. Jammed it out 3 times and like, right, that's it, done. And we just recorded all the different parts of it, and it's sounding class. So being with a band, because it's a totally different experience than standing in a studio yourself. Just me, 2 mics and my guitar, and just, do you know what I mean? That's what I've done for my first album. So with the second album, it's a completely different experience, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's good to get a bit of camaraderie as well with the boys.
And I take it as well with their influences, your ideas must just be exploding in a way, things that you can try out.
It is, because that's when I spoke to Andy. Andy's involved with Main Street Records, the studios, and 23, and he produces all my stuff. Man's an absolute genius, to be honest with you. Me and him bounce ideas off each other, and the good thing is both of us are dead open-minded. Like if something isn't working, we'll say, don't think that's working, and there's no animosity about it. It's like, right, okay, I don't think, maybe I think it did work, but we'll do your idea and we'll see what sounds better. So it's good to have that relationship where you can bounce ideas off each other, where you're not always fighting or at loggerheads with each other. So having people around about me that know what they're talking about, and having that extra influence and extra bit of push, it's definitely going to help going forward, man.
And it's invaluable to have people that are positive.
Oh, definitely, aye. You need positive people. We were talking about this before. You need positive people in your personal life, But if you're doing something like this, where you need to be positive, you can't come into a studio negative, oh, this isn't going to work, because if you come in like that, it's not going to work. So you need to be positive, and everybody has wee negative or down days. So if you can come in here and you're on a wee bit of downer and have the guys to make you laugh or go, that's a great idea, and give you a wee bit of confidence, give you a wee boost, that's what you need, man. So, and it works well for me, so.
I know, that's so true.
Right.
So it's been great having you on, Cutchy.
Cheers, mate, thank you.
How can we find you online?
So I'm on all the socials, so at Cutchy Cash for Facebook, at Cutchy Cash for Instagram, at Cutchy Cash for Twitter, at Cutchy Cash Official for YouTube, and Spotify, iTunes, you name it. Christmas song, as I say, is out now, because this is out next week. It's out now and it's absolutely everywhere, so go and download it, have a listen. If you like it, brilliant. If you don't, wait and see my next stuff, you'll maybe like that. I'm talking straight into the camera, I know that.
Natural salesman.
Aye, natural salesman, that's what it is. Aye, no bullshit. So everywhere, mate, to be honest with you, all the socials and all the streaming platforms and everything else. So I'm going to keep them going as well, man, because they've been an absolute godsend.
Well, that's brilliant, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, man. Peace!